from deep in the forest, high atop the great Smoky Mountains. This is Smoky Mountain Off-Grid. Okay, here we go. As you can see, we've gotten a little snow up here, and that's pretty par for the course. I mean, we're right up on top of the Smoky Mountains. So if you're driving from the valley up to the top, then everything is nice and green and clear. But up on top of the mountain, there's snow. So it gives you a better view of what we're dealing with here. At the front of the property, as you come in, the first 300 feet is most affected by this wind damage. And that's the area of concentration. And the way that we looked at it was that as long as, the trees are blown down, and I got to cut them up anyway, the first thing I have to do is be able to get the vehicles in and out. Okay, we've accomplished that. And that is an accomplishment. And the backstory to that is that a year and a half ago, I contracted rheumatoid arthritis, and I am just barely physically functional. So the whole idea is this: the front end of the property, which runs about 300 feet from the road we're going to go ahead and clean that up and expand on that, loop the driveway around, and then clear a spot for a guest house. So, and the guest house will be multifunctional. The homestead is already set up. We've had the property for 6 years, and so we have a cabin on it, and we have a solar array, and we have sawmill and all that kind of stuff. But a year and a half ago, I was unable to do any of that stuff. I could barely walk out to the vehicles. And from the cabin to where the vehicles are parked is about 200 feet. So, yeah, it's a mess. It was a mess. It was a real mess. And so to continue with the backstory on why we were doing this, let me switch over and get away from the pictures so you can look at my ugly mug, and I'll tell you what the deal is here. In the past, and I've been doing this blogging stuff and the vlogs and YouTube channels and websites and the whole thing for the last 10 years. And my problem has always been that I want to get the information out there. Most of it had to do with forecasting the economy. And I want to get the information out there to make people aware. But when the sites became too popular, it scared me. I don't want the notoriety. I don't. There's too much liability involved in that. Personal liability. I don't want people coming out hunting for me, looking, see where I live, all that kind of stuff. I just don't want it. I just want to give you the information that I have gleaned from my years of experience. And that's both educational and physical, as far as building is concerned. I've done the whole series on building the homestead, from the cabin to the addition to building a sawmill to the whole deal, water collection systems, solar arrays, everything. But now the situation has changed. First off, I'm not as physically capable. I'm going to hit 70 here in a couple of months. And I'm going to need all kinds of mechanical advantage in order for me to do what we're planning on doing. And we kind of figured it would be a good example. Now, there's a caveat here. I might not be able to physically do it. So the next week or two, we're going to test that and see if I can physically do it. If I can't, that's the end of the videos. I won't, I may make some political comments or some economic comments or something like that, some kind of forecasting or something. But if I can't, then I'm done. And I hope I'm not, but it's what happens when you get old. There's a point in time in your life where you have to accept that you're no longer a functioning human being. So we'll see. We'll see. And you guys can come along and watch the comedy show. Because it's going to be hysterical to your young bucks out there, that are all nimble and, physically able to do things that I used to do. And you're going to see this old guy out there stumbling around. And it's going to take me a long time to do the things that would normally, take a week or two. Just as short as a year and a half ago, it would have only taken me a week or two to clear up the storm damage. So it's gonna take a while. So and there are going to be things that I have to do to get that mechanical advantage. And we'll go over all of that stuff as it occurs. As those things occur. But the first thing we had to do was get into the property. So that's done. And now we have a lot of clearing to do because of all the storm damage. So we're going to work on that. Now I'm going to need some mechanical advantage in that I'm going to need some equipment. Now I'm not looking for big equipment. And we'll see. I'll show you. Whatever big equipment I do need, I'll rent. And then use it, and then, pay whatever the rental fee is. And that's coming. If I can get this stuff cleared up. So that's what we're concentrating on now, is to see if I can physically get the storm damage cleaned up. And if I can, we're off to the races. And what it will prove is this, and this is the whole idea behind this video series. What it will prove is that in economic turmoil, which we are in now, and it's going to get worse, anyone can do this. And the proof is an old guy with rheumatoid arthritis who can barely get around. If he can do it, anyone can do it. So there won't be any excuse for you not doing what you have to do in order to protect yourself and your family. Because we're never going back to the way it was. We're only going into worse. And I've been through all of that in this video series, and Smoky Mountain Off-Grid. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, stay tuned. If you're not, so long. It's still a free country. Barely. At any rate, that's what we're doing. So, you either stay tuned or you don't. I don't want to elongate this and make it all drawn out and stuff. We'll be headed back up to the homestead tomorrow. So you can either look forward to or not the next video in a couple of days. All right. That's all I got to say for this time. So until next time, toodaloo.